you tell me the one prophecy, or at least one prophecy, anywhere in the Old Testament where it says, there will come a Messiah from heaven to earth. He will be killed as the atonement for your sins. Is there one place written anywhere in the Old Testament which is this greatest matter of all the universe? Where is it? Doesn't exist. Isaiah 53 is alluded to it, but the Jews say, hey, that's talking about Israel. It's not talking about a Messiah. It never claims to talk about a Messiah. And it never says that if it was a Messiah, it never says it's the emanation of a deity coming from heaven to earth who would be put to death as our sin offering. So a guy like Tovia Singer, who's the great anti-missionary Jewish rabbi, says, you Christians are full of it, you're making stuff up, because you believe in Jesus, you've shanghaied, you've ripped off all of our Old Testament verses and say it's talking about him, when yet none of them clearly discuss the Messiah being our sin offering. There's not a single verse anywhere in the Old Testament that clearly says a Messiah or the Messiah will be put to death for our account. Nor was there ever a sacrifice that was allowed to be beat up and mangled, or a human paying the sins for another human. So where is it? You're going to say something?
When we were talking earlier about the Hashemai Va'et Haaretz.
It's encrypted, you're reading into it, but just to cut to the chase in the interest of time, let me show you where it is. It's right here. The word spelled het is the word sin. Look in the red dictionary. If you have a yod at the end, it makes it personal mine. The word hetet aleph, which is another form, an Aramaic form of writing a word, literally means then this same word. My sin, but also my sin offering, but also to incur guilt, to cleanse me so that I can find favor, absolved of my guilt. That's what this word means. So the great significance of reading this Hebrew alphabet is that I just had to declare that when Pilate said, Hey Vav Zai, and he's talking about Yeshua, Bet Gimel Dalet is coming in disguise, looking like a man who would declare the door to us getting back to the house of the Father, who would be put to death and put into a tomb, around rock rolled in front of him, and sealed, because he is my sin offering, to incur my guilt, to cleanse me so that I can find favor. It's right here in the alphabet. So I have to admit, I don't see the prophecy in the Old Testament. Tovia Singh is right. So is Scott Shub and a few other people. But they're not reading the alphabet. This alphabet proves that the guy that Pilate said, Hey Vav Zion, and put him into the tomb, who resurrected 3 days later, ascended, and is coming back as Resh Shin Tav, that's the real Messiah. And it's been here since the days of the beginning. And it's validated by Pesach, unleavened bread, Shavuot, Yom Teruah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, and Shemini Atzeret. And then when you realize, but this is the crucifixion event, this is the resurrection event. This lines up with Zion, the seventh letter, like the Sabbath day. This is the seventh letter in the pattern, also lining up like the Sabbath day. Nitzazadi, these are weapons. If you do away with the Sabbath day, you've lost your weapons. If you do away with the Sabbath day, you're obliterating the significance of the crucifixion and resurrection. So who was it that did away with the Sabbath day? Israel's enemies, under the guise of being the new Israel. What a plan. How devious. But how do we fight against these guys? The stone hits the feet of the statue of Nebuchadnezzar's dream in Daniel 2. The word leg is regal, resh lamed. It's the letters R-G-L, where we get also, thanks to Isaac Moseson, study R-L-G or R-G-L. It's where we get the word relegate, regular, regulate, regalia, religious. All these words are what it means, but it's simply translated as foot or leg. But if you look in the dictionary, it's also, what do feet do? Well, to walk out the 3 festivals. Shavuot is one of the festivals. He said, keep unleavened bread, Shavuot, and Sukkot. So this is the second of the 3 festivals that we are supposed to put our foot to. Walking where? Well, they were in the land supposed to walk to Jerusalem, but it also means customs, habits, and traditions. So we are supposed to walk out the customs, habits, and traditions of what? The Moedim, the regalia of the regal regulations relegated by Yahweh as being His adornment. And so the statue's regal legs are Christmas, Easter, Sunday, Halloween, Valentine's, Memorial Day, whatever you want to call it. They're just not His. So how do you tell the difference between other cultures and religions? They have other Moedim, other testimonies of their deity's identity and regulations and rules for us to walk out as the regalia of His identity. I'm just playing with the words here. I'm just giving you synonyms of the word moed and regal. So what is it when the eben, the aleph, bet, nun, the stone? Aleph, bet, nun. As a good son, Ben, does the will of the father, Ab, by impacting, changing, conflicting with the regal of the statue crumbles. So what am I suggesting? That the rock that hits the statue is not Jesus Christ coming back, it's us coming back to walk as Yeshua walked, keeping the Moedim in the name of the Father Yahweh. That's what knocks down the statue. That's a whole different reality. That gives us a proactive engagement with the restoration of the kingdom and the coming of Mashiach that the Jews keep praying for, and it's in our control to do it. We can say, well, why didn't they do it a generation ago? Why didn't Billy Graham talk about it? It's like, sorry, they were under the 2,730-year curse. They had no option. But here we are, and it is our prerogative if we choose to engage the battle.
Amen.
Anybody else want to throw anything in?
It was 2009 when they came to realization.
There you go. Thank you, yo.
Hallelujah.